Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into something that's absolutely fundamental to feeling safe in your own home, your security. And we're going to get real specific and focus on probably the most important part of your front door, the lock. So let's get into it and figure out what makes a great lock great.
So, think about your front door for a second. You might have the toughest, most solid door you can buy. But you know what? If the lock is flimsy, then your security is pretty much just an illusion. So the big question is, could your door's biggest weakness be staring you right in the face? Okay, so first up, let's really get to the heart of the problem here. It's so important to understand that not all locks are created equal. Not even close. The kind of lock you have can literally be the difference between a secure home and, well, one that isn't.
Okay, so take a look at this. This really shows the two main approaches. On the left, you've got your basic surface-mounted lock. A lot of people call it a rim lock. It's just screwed onto the inside of the door. As you can probably guess, that makes it a whole lot easier to just kick in or pry open. But then on the other side, you have an embedded lock, a mortise lock. This one is set inside the door itself, which makes it a truly integrated and much stronger part of the door's core structure.
And that right there brings us to the star of the show today, the mortise lock. And believe me, this isn't just a simple upgrade. It represents a totally different and way more effective philosophy when it comes to security. So the magic word here is mortise. A mortise is simply that pocket or slot that's cut into the edge of the door. By fitting the entire body of the lock inside this space, it basically becomes one with the door. See, the design is just fundamentally stronger because it's not just attached to the door, it's a part of the door.
And here's what that actually gets you in the real world. You get way better security because all the important moving parts are protected deep inside the door, safe from tampering. These things are also built like tanks. They're made to last for years and years. On top of that, they just look better, right? You get this really clean, sleek finish because most of the lock is hidden. But really, it all boils down to that last point, genuine peace of mind.
Now, to make all this super clear, we're going to zoom in on a specific brand that's basically a household name for quality locks, at least in the UK, Banham. They're a perfect case study for really understanding the different flavors of high-security mortise locks you can get. First things first, we got to get the two main categories straight. On one side, you have the deadbolt. This is just pure, no-nonsense security. It's that single, solid piece of metal that you can only move with a key. Then you have the sash lock. This one's a bit of a combo deal. It has that same strong deadbolt, but it also includes a latch. That's the little part that keeps the door shut and works with a handle. So think of it as security plus everyday convenience, all rolled into one. So with that in mind, let's look at the specific Banham lineup we're going to compare. We'll be breaking down 5 different models to see how these ideas play out in the real world. The M2002, the L2000, the M2003, L2003, and the M2004. Each one is engineered for a slightly different job. And this brings us to the really important part, figuring out which lock is the right one for you. It's all about matching the features of the lock to your specific door and what you actually need it to do.
Okay, let's break this chart down. Right away, you can see in that first row that the L2000 is our sash lock. That's the one that works with a handle. The others are all about pure deadbolt security. Now let's drop down to cylinder type. This is where it gets really interesting. Most of these use a standard pin tumbler cylinder. It's a solid, proven design. But look over at the M2004. It steps things up to a high-security cylinder. That means it's specifically built to be much harder to pick. And if you follow that M2004 column all the way down to the best 4 row, you'll see why it's labeled premium security. That's for when you really need the best protection possible. Compare that to, say, the M2003, which is geared for commercial use. It's built to handle tons of traffic and wear and tear.
And that's really the key takeaway from all this. There's no such thing as one single best lock for everyone. The best lock is the one that's right for your door, your lifestyle, and your security needs. The M2200 might be perfect for a back door, while that L2000 is probably ideal for your main front door where you want a handle. Now, there is one crucial thing that all of these locks share, and it should give you a ton of confidence. They are all British Standard certified. This is not just some sticker they slap on the box. It means these locks have been put through a whole battery of intense, independent tests to make sure they can stand up to attacks like drilling and picking. It's a real guarantee of quality.
So how do you actually make the final call? Well, you can just follow these 4 simple steps. First, take a good look at your door. What's it made of? How thick is it? Second, decide what you need, the convenience of a sash lock or the brute force of a deadbolt. Third, be honest about your security level. And finally, decide if you want a spring for that top-tier, high-security cylinder, like the one in the M2004. It's a pretty straightforward process when you break it down.
All right, so you've gone through the steps. You've picked your perfect lock, but you're not done yet. Getting the installation right and just taking care of it over time are every bit as important as the lock you chose in the first place.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've just invested in this amazing piece of security hardware. Can you save a few bucks and just fit it yourself this weekend?
Well, the answer from pretty much every expert is a resounding no. While it's tempting to DIY, the security of a Mortice lock depends completely on a perfect, precise fit. A professional locksmith has the special tools and, more importantly, the experience to cut that Mortice pocket exactly right. If it's off by even a millimeter, you could compromise the whole lock. Honestly, this is one of those jobs where it really pays to hire a pro.
And to make sure that investment lasts for decades, just follow these simple tips. You know, a little bit of lubricant now and then keeps everything running smoothly. Don't force the key. If it's not turning easily, something's wrong. Make sure your door isn't sagging because that puts a ton of stress on the bolt. Really, just a quick look over every few months is all it takes to keep it in great shape. So, after all that, we're left with one final question, and this one's for you. Now that you know the difference, now that you know what to look for, what's the first step you're going to take to secure your home? Are you going to go check your own front door? Maybe look into an upgrade? Because at the end of the day, the security of your home really is in your hands. Thanks so much for watching.